Thank you, Sean and Claire. There's always a lot going on, and here is what's in the news this morning. On Wednesday, a protest turned violent outside the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines. Demonstrators threw red paint and rallied against U.S. military in the country, and several were injured when a Philippine police van rammed into a crowd of protesters. 29 were arrested, 24 police officers were injured, and 3 protesters were hospitalized by the end of the day. Protest leaders are critical of the United States, and even more so after the reaction to the demonstration. The U.S. and the Philippines have had a long alliance, but relations are getting more tense. The Philippines' new president, Rodrigo Duterte, has controversial policies such as the murder of drug dealers in his country that are placing the longtime friendly nations at odds. Today, Russia and Syria are halting bombings in Aleppo for 8 hours in a humanitarian pause. Russia and the Syrian government had previously held airstrikes in the city against rebel groups who were fighting the Assad regime. After the latest breakdown of ceasefire talks, this is a humanitarian win for one of the hardest hit cities in Syria. Russia and the Syrian government want to use the break in fire to convince certain rebel groups to leave the city. Some rebels have voiced skepticism as to the motive and the cause of the airstrikes, and they argue that this is an attempt to give the Syrian government an upper hand in the conflict. The U.S. government is supportive of agreements that reduce conflict, but humanitarian groups are hesitant to bring aid into the city before confirming that all parties involved will be safe. The MBTA paid close to $1 million to investigate ways to save money by privatizing some of their services. The MBTA's goal is to make public transit more efficient and to cut costs in things like maintenance and drivers. McKinsey, the consulting firm hired by the MBTA, says that they make improvements when they use outside companies to fill certain roles. But critics say that this could lead to outsourcing jobs. Changes appear to be likely, ranging from state bus operation to the cleanup crews of the T. Not far from Boston, Colleen Ritzer was a school teacher in Danvers, Massachusetts. She was killed by one of her students in 2013. Ritzer's family is now filing a lawsuit against the school as well as the city. This comes after the student who killed Ritzer, then 14-year-old Philip Chisholm, pleaded not guilty to murder on the grounds of mental illness. This defense was rejected by jurors, and earlier this year he was sentenced to life with parole able to cut his sentence to 40 years. The Ritzer family is suing the school for failures in security, and information will come out as the trial continues. Memorials were held for Ritzer, and the city of Andover holds an annual 5K in her honor. That's all the news I have for you today. Sean and Claire, back to you.